So that certain Aquaman starlet had to silence JD's first witness today. Why? Because there are some bombshell, and I do mean bombshell accusations that they've put out, and they could not have them coming their way. You and I, we are going to talk about those today, and we're going to talk about what she had to say on the stand. She had some very damaging things to say about that certain Aquaman starlet. It looks like so far JD is winning here. There are a lot of people going on record saying those things that she said, yeah, I saw those, but I didn't see them from him. I saw them from her. You and I, we're going to talk about that today. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. So, hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. And before we get started, very quickly, check out and back our comic book project. It is live right now on Indiegogo. Link is in the description. The companies that allowed things like this to happen, the ones that disrespect and denigrate their customers, walk away from them and walk towards something else. That's what we want to provide, an alternative. Check it out. Thank you. So what if I were to tell you that there was a bombshell accusation out there, one that certain Aquaman starlet stole the tales that they're utilizing against JD? Well, that actually exists. The person right here in front of you, Kate James, they said that in one of two declarations that they provided in the UK, and they've said a lot more, in fact, much, much more. So the person that we see talking here, this is Kate James. If you've never heard of Kate James, this is the former personal assistant of a certain Aquaman starlet. They would see them all the time, so they were always around them. Well, despite the fact that she was around that certain Aquaman starlet all day, every day, guess what she says that she never saw? That's right, proof of any of the things that she says that JD did. Now, the interesting thing about Kate James's testimony is she said she did see certain types of behavior, mind you, but those behaviors, they came from that certain Aquaman starlet. She talked about spitting, for example. She said that certain Aquaman starlet spit in her face. She would treat her like that quite a bit, and she would do that in front of witnesses. She talked about a handyman, for example, coming over, having this happen in front of that person being horrified and disgusted by this behavior, but that certain Aquaman starlet not stopping it because she felt that she owned Kate James. Now, Kate James also talked about pay level, and when she was talking about pay level, she talked about it throughout her relationship with that certain Aquaman starlet. She said when she was brought on as a personal assistant, it was supposed to be part-time. She negotiated $25 an hour, which is a very low rate when you think about Los Angeles. Well, that certain Aquaman starlet wanted to keep her at that rate. She felt that she owned her throughout, but they finally managed to negotiate some type of salary. When they did, well, it made things a whole lot worse. Now, when she was talking about this as well, she talked about the final days of working for that certain Aquaman starlet and how that certain Aquaman starlet said that she gave her 6 weeks severance pay. The lawyers for Team Aquaman, they brought that up over and over again, too. Isn't it true that she paid you X amount? Well, Kate James says that she said that she did that, but she couldn't remember her doing that. In fact, she thought that didn't happen, which would be interesting. Her going out saying that she gave money to something that she didn't. Where have I heard about that from? Oh, yeah, I heard about that with a children's hospital. I heard about that with the ACLU. But hey, again, what do I know? Now, another thing that she talked about throughout this, and I always thought that this story was interesting, she talked about the notoriety need, what that certain Aquaman starlet felt that they deserved when it came to the press, and how they would do anything to be noticed. Now, on the stand, they talked about how she would contact the paparazzi. Now, this would be done anonymously, by the way, because you couldn't have any link back to that certain Aquaman starlet, but that certain Aquaman starlet or her personal assistant here. They would make contact. Then you would have that certain Aquaman starlet and her sister. They would dress up. They would go out. They would make sure that they were photographed. And after all of that transpired, Kate James's job was to go out, not pick up one copy of everything she was in. She was supposed to pick up 2 copies of that, but all of this, it had to be hidden away. See, apparently, one of the requirements for Kate James was that when she picked all of this up, she had to hide it away in that certain Aquaman starlet's garage. She had to do this before JD was around, and one time she didn't manage to do that. She messed up. She slipped up and forgot about it because she said she had to do every single thing managing that certain Aquaman starlet's life. Well, when she did that, well, it was a terror to behold. She described a scene that was utter chaos. Now, on the stand, she didn't get into how much of it she had talked about versus early declarations. She's given 2 early declarations, in fact, but she did talk about that incident, and she also talked about something that links into this, too, and that would be substance abuse. Now, when she was discussing substances, she said that certain Aquaman starlet, she would drink a lot, that she was hooked on certain drugs like Provigil. Provigil, when used with alcohol, it will boost it exponentially, so you'll get out of control there. She would take mushrooms, she would take cocaine, and really, why does that matter, you might ask? Well, the entire argument coming from that certain Aquaman starlet is that substance abuse, that leads to another type of abuse. Anyone out there that is doing that, they're going to turn into a monster. Well, when you turn the tables and you think about that argument, what does that say about that certain Aquaman starlet? Now, on top of that, Kate James claims that certain Aquaman starlet took a story of something that transpired in her life. She was in Brazil, somebody held her at machete point, and she details, in graphic detail, mind you, the things that happened there. It is horrific. She says that she told that certain Aquaman starlet all about this, too. When that certain Aquaman starlet heard that, she wanted to know how you survive it, what exactly you do. And then Kate James says she was horrified years later to see her reactions and her statements. They were utilized in court documents. She also details other things as well. She talks about corruption. She talks about payoffs by that certain Aquaman starlet. There's so much in it. If you're interested, let me know. I'll detail all of that in another video talking about all of her other depositions. But yeah, this was a huge testimony for JD, a big one that went his way. Oh, man. 1 of 4 for today, it looks like. But anyway, let me know what you think about this. And check out our project. It is live right now, crowdfunding on Indiegogo. Like I said, link is in the description. We need your help. This is our message to companies that allow this kind of stuff to happen. It shouldn't happen. It should never be rewarded. And when you're walking away from those places, walk towards something and help us send a message. We can show them how much money isn't theirs anymore, how much backing. It's a beautiful way of relating that. But yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for being here too. Appreciate you. Leaving now. See you soon.